Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Wednesday, which means we're asking what's up with something strange right here on Fiverr Talks. Today's question, what's up with those buyers that ask for inappropriate, lewd, or vulgar things in their order? What do you do about these people? How do you handle it? Well, today we're going to talk about it and a 4-step strategy to make sure you get through it without losing face and still growing a business. Well, hey everybody, and welcome back to Fiverr Talks. As always, my name is Joel. I'll be your host and your guide for everything Fiverr. I just want to pause right here at the beginning of the video and let you know we have something exciting coming up next Monday. Make sure you're back here on Monday for Monday's video. Not only is there going to be motivation, but there's going to be a lot of fun because there's going to be an announcement about 2021. We're all ready to get to 2021, but this announcement will help us launch into the new year with some really cool things I know you're looking forward to because you've told me, and things I'm looking forward to bringing to you here on this channel as we continue to grow together. It's awesome. I love the community. I love the comments. So I don't normally ask this up front, but hey, I might as well. If you like this video, if you like this channel, please subscribe and leave me a thumbs up. It really helps things out. And most of all, interact down in the comments section. If you've not noticed, the comments section gets rowdy with great information. So if you haven't checked that out or haven't left your mark, then you're missing out. I'm going to give you a question of the day a little bit later in the video. So that's an easy way to jump in and throw in your 2 cents and read what other people have to say and comment on their comments. So yeah, lots of good stuff going on down below. So here's today's question. What do you do with those customers? What's up with those people that send you inappropriate requests? Well, the internet is the internet after all. Even in years that aren't 2020, the internet is going to be a little strange and a little off sometimes. Though the majority of the people on Fiverr come there for legitimate business purposes. They're there to get something great for their business, product, service, or organization. There are some people that maybe even with good intentions come to the platform to have someone create something for them that is lewd, vulgar, sexual, inappropriate in nature, and they ask creatives like you and me to create this for them. Now, I have been in we'll call it the public-facing services arena for quite a while. Videos, voiceover, things that are directly connected to me, my face, my voice. And so I've always been hypersensitive about these kinds of requests because it's my voice. It's easily recognizable by anyone that knows me. It's my face. Everybody who can see me knows that it's my face. So I never wanted to represent anything that I didn't personally believe in, and definitely not something that was inappropriate, rude, or went against my faith, my values, my principles. And I certainly don't want you to get in that situation either. Obviously, this is a common thread if people are asking about it because a lot of different services will eventually run up against this dilemma. I want to make money. I want to have the order go through. Maybe someone placed an order and you don't want that cancellation, but someone has asked you to do something that goes against the grain of your beliefs, goes against the grain of your principles, your values, whatever it is. It just doesn't sit right with you and you don't want to get involved, but you're torn. Maybe you need the money. You're trying to grow this business. Maybe you're on the edge of getting a demotion because of cancellations and your cancellation rate. What do you do with these people? Well, I thought I would kick off this set of tips in this video by sharing a little story with you that actually happened to me several years ago. It's harmless. Actually, this was probably way back in the beginning. It's harmless, and I don't think it exists anymore, so I'll share it with you, and you can have a nice laugh at my expense. Like I said, I always was very careful about what I put my face and my voice on when I was doing spokesperson videos and when I do voiceovers even still today. I always had a policy against doing anything with foul language, anything sexual in nature, no dating sites, no get-rich-quick schemes, no nothing like that. But then I had someone come along around this time of year, Christmas time, and they wanted to do a video for their product. And it was kind of a funny little product. It was something called the Fart Attack. That's right. It was called the Fart Attack, and it was a car air freshener that was kind of like it was air freshener incognito, where it looked like a regular air freshener and you gave it to someone like a friend or someone you didn't like very much. But when they put it in their car, it smelled like a fart. Which, I mean, to me, that's like the greatest product I've ever heard of. That's hilarious. I thought this was pretty funny. I had no real problem with it, so I did the video. I did a funny little video talking about give your friends a fart attack for Christmas. I thought it was pretty funny until a little while later, my friends started seeing this video, or people I knew started seeing this video that, like I said, I don't think it's around anymore. You interwebs will tell me if it's still around, but I quickly became a little embarrassed of this video that I did for the fart attack air freshener. And that's kind of a playful, fun, silly example of what can happen if you put your face or your services or your time into something that you don't believe in. And it's something that I believe every Fiverr seller, whether they're selling, graphic design services, putting their face or their voice on something, copywriting, has to decide, where is my line? How far will I go before I'm not proud of what I'm doing? Because one of the most important things about being a freelancer and choosing what you do, having the freedom, is being proud of what you do. I want you to be proud of what you do and the whole of your portfolio, every single thing you've ever done. I want you to be proud of it. And I'm hoping that today's tips will actually help you to avoid some of the things that I learned the hard way, like with the fart attack video. So before we jump into my 4 tips for how to make sure you have a plan, I want to give you the question of the day. Today's question of the day is, this could get weird, what's the weirdest thing anyone's ever asked you to do on Fiverr? What's the weirdest request you've ever gotten? And please, keep it G-rated down below. But tell us, what's the weirdest thing anybody's ever asked you to do with your services on Fiverr? Share something weird or funny. Don't cross the line. Don't go overboard and ruin it for everybody. Tell us down below. Tag it with QOTD. Tell us what's the weirdest thing any buyer's ever asked you to do on Fiverr for question of the day. All right, so here are my 4 tips for making sure that you're prepared when those inappropriate requests come through. Tips that will help you not only to be prepared, but to have a plan and actually sometimes help people understand why you're taking this stand and maybe help them to modify their work so it fits within your standards and you can still keep the job going. That's the best case scenario. So the first thing you need to do is set your standards. And this is not something I can tell you how to do because it's different for everyone. Everyone has a different perspective, different environment, different upbringing, different morals in some cases, different faith, different preferences, things that guide their decision making as to where that line is. And you need to decide for yourself, where's my line? What don't I want to cross? What don't I want to do? And decide that up front before the question's even posed, because trust me, when you get there, and if you're early on, and if things are crunched, like your statistics or your time or your money, you're going to want to try to make that work. So you need to decide beforehand, before the situation arises, where's my line? What crosses the line? What won't I do? What will I do? And then once you've set those standards, number 2, you need to communicate that clearly, not only in your responses, but hopefully to save you from getting into a situation where a cancellation is going to occur. Communicate that in your gig description. Write it out. Hey, I will not do this. One of the things that I get all the time on Fiverr is people asking me to create videos for their gigs, and that's actually against Fiverr's terms of services. And so for a long time, we had at the very top of the gig description, we cannot do videos. I cannot shoot a video for your gig description or your gig video. It needs to be you presenting your services to the world. And if my face was on everybody's gig video, then it would be confusing as to whether or not that was my gig or someone else's. So decide where your line is, set your preferences, set your standards, then communicate them clearly in written form or maybe even in your gig video. If you have enough time to squeeze that in there, I wouldn't spend a lot of time talking about it, but if you can squeeze it in, make sure people know where you stand and what your standards are. Then third, this is important, when the opportunity comes around, don't compromise on your standards. Stick to your standards and stick right where you've stated you will stay. Don't bend it, don't stretch it. But what you can do to stay within those standards is make suggestions to your buyer, to your customer, as to how they could modify it, if that's at all possible, to fit within your standards. So, for instance, I have a policy against profanity. I don't use profanity in voiceovers. I just don't do it. That goes against my faith, my personal beliefs. I don't do that in my regular life. I don't do it in public. So that's on my list. And so when someone submits a script that has profanity, I simply say, hey, like I stated in the gig description, that's something I don't do, but if you want to modify that to a different wording, then I can still do the work for you. And a lot of times it works out. People understand, and in most cases, as long as it's possible, buyers in general are willing to do that if they are coming to you and really want to use your services. So you can sometimes make that work. So don't compromise. Set your standards and stick with them. And then fourth and finally, this is really important, don't look back. Set your standards, communicate them, don't compromise, and then never look back and worry or wonder or say, oh, I wish I had just done that, because you should be proud of yourself when you set standards and stick to them. It not only raises your level of professionalism in the marketplace, but it also raises your competency, your confidence in yourself that, hey, I am not out here to make a buck at all costs. Money is not the most important thing to me. Being a person of integrity with values and standards is important. And I think no matter who you are, where you come from, at some level that's unique to you, that should be important to you. And that's what leads us to business success is integrity, trustworthiness, setting standards and sticking to them. You should never look back, never wish you did something that you said you would never do, because then otherwise you might have to look back and say, gosh, I can't believe I ever did the video about a farting air freshener or whatever it is for you. Hopefully it's not something worse than that. Never compromise on those standards and never look back. Don't be ashamed of having values, having standards, and sticking to those. And I think ultimately, buyers will respect that. I've had very few occurrences where people just get belligerent and crazy and angry because I won't do their inappropriate work. Most of the time people get it. They say, hey, I understand. If I can't modify it, sorry, I need it done this way. And if you're not that person, I'll find somebody else. But thanks for being honest with me. People really do appreciate it. And who knows, maybe in the future they have something to come back to you for that is more appropriate and that they can use you for. So that's a really cool thing. Hey, thanks so much for joining me right here on What's Up Wednesday. This has been Fiverr Talks. Like I said, this community is growing every week with people just like you, Fiverr sellers trying to make it on the platform and really increasing their knowledge and experience through these videos, growing and learning here together. So if you're new, please subscribe, throw us a thumbs up. That really helps the algorithm, helps us to grow and rank more as we're bringing you all this free content. There's free videos every single Monday and Wednesday, and if you want to get access to our exclusive videos, or if you just want to support the work that I'm doing here, the knowledge that I'm sharing, then join me over on Patreon. Throw me a little support at patreon.com/DJYoung. That helps me to keep the channel going, which is going to be crucial in 2021. And I want to make sure that I'm giving you all the focus and attention you deserve so that you can find success on Fiverr. So take it easy. And while you're doing that, keep doing, because the future favors the doers.